It all starts by saying that this is a frightening world. Dinosaur is dead, as emanating to strike a place where the most dangerous predator camouflages with the most innocent creature, delivering a lethal blow when least expected. The snake was baited by the innocent toad and now is gone. Vampires, werewolves, ghosts, cyborgs, puppets, every horror creature one can think of runs through this world like blood in veins. Writing in the book, our protagonist says, "I need to stay calm all the time, since the slightest trace of fear is enough for you to be swallowed by the darkness," or at least that's what he learned in the last 2 years. During this time, he's only been doing one thing, trying to survive. Someone knocks on the door and says, "Lin, it's time go hang the light outside and get ready to open this door." At this moment, he receives a mission from the system. Hang the left side reward, skull coin, experience, and pure humility. He sees this system, but he doesn't have time to pay attention to it. He opens the doors. Instantly. When he opens the door, a giant freaking he greets Professor. "You're back already," but he's already thinking, "I'm going to die." That's what he always imagined when he appeared here 2 years ago. But now he's gotten used to all this. Frankenstein is carrying somebody's body. Our protagonist says it was 2 years ago that he was saved by this professor and learned all medical skills from him. Even though the days are monotonous, the situation isn't that bad. He opens the store door, facing dozens of eyes. The darkness sinks there that it's impossible to see around. But he feels good after all. Surviving in that world is already considered a miracle. He lights the candle and spills a drop of blood. The reaction drives away all the souls nearby, and with that, the facade is lit up. He then receives the rewards from the system and is impressed that even though this mission was simple, he received such good rewards. Immediately, an old, toothless woman carrying a head appears in front of him. "Good morning, young man. Do you have any useless junk to give to this old woman?" He receives a mission, delivers something useless to the old woman. He looks back and says, "I do hold on." He knows it's the butcher, and he always needs to get rid of her as quickly as possible. He hands her 2 red spiky objects that are trembling. She thanks the young boy, and he receives the rewards from the system. Then she says, "You have a good heart. Here, take this, it's your reward," and hands him the eyes from her face. The system says he can accept or refuse, but if he refuses, he will lose 50 points of favorability with her. He hesitates for a second, but says, "Thank you very much. I'll take it eyeless." She thanks him and leaves. Another mission is complete. He returns to the store. He knows across the street there's a butcher shop and a meat shop, and the eyes she gave him belong to the owners of these places. There's an extremely important rule in this world. Never offend the walkers of the darkness. He takes advantage of the professor being busy and checks the system. All his stats are simple, and the description says he's a fragile yet intelligent young human man who has lived in this world for 2 years, but you never know when he'll die. Lin recognizes that this system is quite similar to a game's. Maybe as he completes missions, he gains attributes and skills at least that will increase his chances of surviving there. At that moment, Professor Frankenstein opens the door and tells Lin, "I'm going out for a while. I'll be back in 2 days. Take care of this door, and don't let anyone steal anything from this place." His name is Bloodsaw, and in the combat information, the system just says, "Don't provoke him." Lin, a little scared, says, "Got it. Is there anything else I should keep in mind?" Bloodsaw tells him, if they have money, take the money. If not, take something of equal value. And if they don't have money and aren't willing to pay, use this handing him. Bloodsaw his blade. The system warns that it's extremely sharp and easily cuts through flesh and soul. But the more you use it, the more it craves things. Lin, just thanks before leaving. Bloodsaw adds, "Don't forget to feed the little baby after closing the shop. He hasn't eaten for a long time." He receives the same mission from the system. Blood Soul warns, no matter what you hear outside, never leave the range of the soul lamp. If someone asks for your help, ignore them. Close the door and windows at night, and no matter who calls for you, stay quiet. If someone comes in, kill them all. Got it? Lin says, "These 2 days are going to be torture." Sitting at a table with the blade, he's just waiting for the time. As soon as the clock strikes, someone knocks on the door. "Excuse me, Is the owner there? He approaches the door and looks through the people, seeing a little girl holding a doll. The system gives him a mission. Help take care of the injured doll in the system's attribute window. It warns of a wandering soul from the valley looking for her mother with a doll as her ally. Whoever dares to steal her doll will end in her belly with tears in her eyes. The girl pleads, "Please, my doll is hurt. Can you save her?" Lin looks at the soul lamp and sees that the reaction isn't very intense, meaning the girl isn't that dangerous. In this case, he opens the door and asks her to come in. Thanks to the soul lamp, nobody can enter unless he invites them, or if the person is very powerful. To keep his job there, he needs to treat customers well. Besides, the souls and spirits in this place aren't necessarily bloodthirsty. They just want to live their lives with that. Said it's good never to ask about their taboos and lives. The girl tells him, "My dog lost her arm, and no matter how hard I search, I can't find it. She's my favorite. If it keeps going like this, she'll die. Can you save her, big brother?" Already opening a giant mouth, he swallows nervously, of course, but the system warns that he lost 5 points of sanity when examining the doll's arm. The system says the bite pattern matches the mouth of the girl, and the blood on the girl's clothes belongs to the doll. He's impressed that the system can assist with diagnosis so much. Then he asks little girl, "Did you eat anything recently?" The girl says, no, she hasn't eaten anything for many days and is very hungry, so hungry that last night she dreamed she was eating many delicious things, meat, hair, ears, everything she loves, and it was delicious already. Opening her monster mouth, her doll repeats, yes, everything was delicious. Lin's sanity drops another 10 points. Lin tells her, "I suspect that when you dreamed you ended up eating your doll's arm." She stands there, fingers intertwined. Feel the best. But the doll says, "My mommy loves me." Lin asks, "Do you feel need?" She replies that she feels a little itching in her belly because it's probably the case so the arm isn't being digested. She prefers surgery or physical work. The girl awkwardly says she wants surgery. But how will it be? The doll also says she wants surgery. He pulls blood, saw his blade from the table, and says, "It's simple. I'll cut your abdomen, open your stomach, remove the arm, and then sew it back together." The girl seems scared. "And what about physical therapy?" "This one's even simpler. The price will be even lower, so I want this one." The girl says, putting on gloves. He asks, "All right, then from below or from above?" The little girl is startled. He tells her to relax, assuring her that either way it won't hurt her. She's trembling and hesitates to respond. He asks, "Are you ready? Scared?" She asks, "How about we finish here?" "I don't want any medical treatment," but Lin signals no. "My professor said that once a customer comes in, they have to be attended to, or else they have to leave something here before they go." The trembling girl says, "All right, do it from above." She sits in the chair. He tells her to open her mouth as wide as possible. Lin smells a terrible odor coming from her. He puts a metal circle in her mouth to prevent her from biting and pushes the arm inside her stomach. The girl is writhing in agony, but he tells her not to move. It'll be over soon. He searches inside her stomach until he finally manages to pull out the arm. She's agonizing in ping and germs. "You really accidentally ate your doll's arm. She just didn't tell you because she knew you were hungry. In the future, I advise you not to digest strange things." He then opens a drawer. The cost to put this arm back on the doll will be 30 skull coins. "Do you want me to proceed?" The girl says yes, struggling to speak the doll deck, and has "please, no mom." But he reassures the ball, who Ritazi manages to reconnect the doll's arm, earning a lot of points, and sit him. He anime use on the doll once a day for a week, and she should be recovered. He pours the medicine on the doll's arm, and she agonizes once again, running to the girl's arm, asking to leave. Lin looks at her and says, 10 for physical therapy, 30 for sewing, 70 for medicine, a total of 1 in 10 skull coins. Thank you very much. Hope to see you again. The girl seems timid, takes some coins from her pocket and throws them to him. "I only have 20, she says. He stops for a second that says, "You still owe 90 coins. You can use part of your body as collateral. It's okay, I'll do it for free for you." The girl takes a step back, afraid. "I still have 10. Great. Now you owe 80. She doesn't keep the medicine, she'll buy it next time. All right, now you owe 20 coins. She asks if she can pay on credit, and then come back to pay later. But Lin says it's a small store. They can't offer credit. How about leaving an eye as collateral? She can even keep the medicine, and he'll give her 40 coins and change, covering her eyes. She asks Nai with something else? He asks, like what? She lowers her head, looking a bit embarrassed with my body, she says. Lin is taken aback, wondering what she's thinking. He stands up, staring at her. She asks, can it be? But he replies, I don't accept your body. I just want your right eye relax when you're in the money. You can buy it back. She cries and says, all right. The doll says, no, Mom, don't do it. But the eye has already been taken out and stored in a jar. He then receives a lot of items and money from the system. He looks back. Please come again to Sanguine Blood's pharmacy. I'll have dessert. One more. She leaves in tears, saying she'll never come back. Then finds this reaction odd, and the system gives him a quest, but played little help her find it. 200 favorability with the girl, 100 reward. He ponders a bit, staring at some hair he's been receiving from the system. He's sure that little girl has done much scarier things. Oh well, doesn't matter. He'll talk about it with her next time. Lin notices that he's been running auto coins, which is the currency of this world. It's a shame he hasn't been able to leave the store in the past 2 years, looking outside, seeing the crowd of eyes. He thinks having money isn't a problem, right? Maybe in the future, I'll have a chance to use it. At that moment, a pig without an eye enters the store. He's the owner of the butcher shop in the Valley of Wandering Souls. He's your friendly neighbor and is very happy to share a prey he just caught with you or share you with others. Lin looks at the pig, noticing that the lamp is turning very red. Welcome to Sanguine Blood's pharmacy. Is there anything I can help you with? He thinks that thanks to the action of the soul lamp, monsters usually don't attack him, especially because if they do, he can use the power of the soul to suppress them. However, this doesn't work properly with those extremely corrupted ones. In the end, it's a ruleless world. The pig passes through the door and enters the shop. Damn, that old lady. She tore out one of my eyes just because of junk. Next time I see her. Al, he interrupts himself as he sits at the table. Where's Blood? Saw, bring him now. I need a new eye, and I'll pay with prey I just caught. Lin responds. My teacher went out to take care of some things. If you need anything, just talk to me. He receives the mission from the system, help the pig monster find a new eye. The pig stares at Lin. Oh, it's you. The system warns that the crisis has increased to 89%. They are silently staring at each other. Then the pig says, okay, then you do it. He picks up some items, organizes them, and says, we have human eyes, pig eyes, eyes of dead bat specters, and puppet doll eyes. Each one has its price. Which one do you want? The pig looks at them all, thinks for a moment, looks at Lin and says, I think your eye is the best. Lin loses 10 sanity, and the crisis increases to 91%. He asks, mine? The pig responds, why can't it be yours? Lin feels a bit awkward, but suddenly takes his eyeballs out. The system warns that his life is in danger, and saying he lost an organ with the eye in his hand, he says, okay, this one here costs 200 skull coins, no refunds, even if it doesn't connect to your body. The pig is startled, disbelieving, impossible, absolutely impossible. When that old lady pulled out my eyeball, I was agonizing in pain, but he, a mere human, didn't even hesitate to remove his own eye. With that, the crisis drops to 50%. He stands there staring at the pig with the eye in his hand. The pig thinks, I understand he's not human. He was transformed by one of those creations from Blood. Saw. Then approaches with the eye. The pig says, I don't want yours. I want my own eyeball. If you don't have it, forget it. The crisis drops to 45%. Lin puts his eye back and says, your eye is with me. The pig is surprised. He shows to him and asks, it's this one here. The pig asks, where did you get it? Lin tells him that this morning he found a kind-hearted lady who gave him this toy. The pig looks confused. The butcher, she's a monster capable of removing my head, and she gave my eye to a pharmacy apprentice. For what reason? Minus 30 sanity for the pig. Lin just looks at him while the crisis has already reduced to 20%. The pig asks, she gave it to you, and you're just going to give it back to me? Lin says, I'm not giving it back to you. I'm selling it to you. The market value is 200 skull coins. The pig understands and agree. Okay, I'll buy it. Then the crisis is now at 10%, and Lin asks, "Do you want to do this here or on the operating table?" The pig says he wants to do it here, thinking no one has the courage to lay on that operating table. Lin tells him to rest his head on the table and stay still. If it hurts, he can scream. The pig jokes, scream in pain. Lin then pulls out the blade and heats it on the candle. The pig trembles, wondering why he's heating a knife to reattach an eyeball. Lin approaches and says, "You have some blood clots and some stones in your eye, but it's all right. I'll clean them for you. Don't worry about the price. It's a complimentary service." The pig seems reluctant, and his sanity drops -10. Lin proceeds with the operation, gaining more experience with the system. After a while, Lin says, "Phew, the cleaning is done." Lin finds it out that the system gave him blade experience instead of surgical skill experience. But now it's time to put the eye back. Lin warns the pig not to move too much, or he might put it in the wrong direction. Lin looks at the pig, almost fainting. "Oh, I forgot about anesthesia again, Dad. I also forgot when I was reattaching the doll's arm. Well, it doesn't matter, the pig sees him approaching. What's that for?" "Oh, you woke up again. It's a kind of super glue. It'll prevent your eyeball from falling out again. When combined with a healing potion, I guarantee a 95% success rate." The pig tells him to stop stalling and just do it. Lin says, "All right, but be patient. I'll fix you up quickly." Lin then reinserts the eye, saying, "Believe me, I'm a professional with a hammer in hand." The pig's sanity drops by 20. The pig asks what he's doing with the hammer. Lin tells him to calm down and stay still. This is the last step of the procedure. If he moves, they'll have to start over, and Lin will have to increase the cost. Lin gives him a couple of strikes with the hammer. The pig is screaming, but Lin says he can't stop now. He has a responsibility as his doctor. Every patient who comes in here has to leave in perfect condition. Lin delivers another hammer blow, but Henlin stops looking stressed. The pig asks, "What is the problem?" Lin tells him that, unfortunately, the eye in the wrong position and he will need to redo the surgery. But don't fret, the fix is going to be free because he is a friendly doctor. The pig screams in pain and fear, but after some time, Lin hands him a medicine, instructing him to take it twice a day orally and apply the other one to the skin. In 2 days, he'll be recovered, but it will cost him 546 skull coins. The pig signs the contract using his bloody fingertips. Then he asks if he can leave now, and Lin says, "Of course, you can go ahead." However, the system notifies Lin that he has activated a secret mission from the pig head, the unusual stomach. As a reward, Lin would receive the visual diagnosis ability. Then Lin says, "Wait there." The pig asks, "What's the problem?" Lin calmly explains, "I just noticed the problem, and I need to tell you. If I don't, I can't call myself a doctor anymore." The pig sits in the chair, saying, "Okay, I believe you for now, but if it's a trick, I won't spare you." He asks to see his pulse, and Lin gains experience in diagnosis. The pig grows impatient, asking what the problem is. Lin takes a moment and then says it's a serious matter. The pig trembles after staring at each other for a moment. Lin says it's an ectopic pregnancy. The pig grabs Lin by the collar, saying he's a man, not a woman. Lin calmly replies, "That's why I'm saying it's an ectopic pregnancy. It would be even more problematic if you had a uterus. We'd have to perform an even more difficult gender surgery." The pig throws him into the chair, frustrated. Lin asks what he's thinking. The pig replies, "I'm thinking about how I'm going to cut your hand off." Lin says, "Stop thinking about these useless things." He adds, "You've been experiencing swelling, nausea, loss of appetite, and bleeding in the lower region." The pig seems shocked by the fact that he knows all of that. Lin calmly takes notes and asks if anything else has happened. The pig mentions some stomach pains, and Lin asks how long it's been, about a month. Then Lin thinks a bad meal wouldn't cause pain for that long. Then he asks, "When was the last time you tried to reproduce? Do you have any strange fantasies like joining many people or using unconventional tools?" The pig shouts, "I doubt you'll say that again." Lin responds, "Okay, I won't ask that again." Next question. "The last time you were reproducing in your lower region, did you feel a tearing pain?" The pig shouts, "I'm tired of you. Explain to me what the hell this tearing pain in my lower part means," shaking him. Lin responds, "Please, calm down. I'm just asking for your well-being. You don't want to end up with a chronic condition." Do you? The pig sits down. Okay, I'll give you one last chance. Lin approaches and says, based on everything you've told me, it seems like you're not experiencing a normal pregnancy. It appears that you consume something with abnormal powers, causing a mutation in your body, indirectly leading to an ectopic pregnancy. The pig repeats ectopic pregnancy. Lin says, lately, haven't you felt satiated, even after eating a lot? You have sunken eyes, pale skin, cold pulse. All of these are possible symptoms when an evil spirit parasitizes you. Put your hand here. It is an exorcism potion. It will check if you're parasitized by an evil spirit. The pig approaches and sniffs, then plunges his hand in, and spirits begin to emerge. Seeing this, the pig jerks his hand back, feeling something moving in his belly. Lin grabs a pan and hits his belly. The pig asks what that thing was, and Lin says that the preliminary diagnosis confirms it's an ectopic pregnancy caused by an evil spirit parasite, but it's not fully formed yet. Luck is on your side for coming to me at this stage. The pig hugs his leg, saying, Man, I'm sorry I acted wrong before. Please don't take it to heart. I beg you. Save me. Please save me. Lin thinks it's much easier to deal with the evil spirit in a direct fight. The problem is there's not much to do when it's inside someone's stomach. In this case, I'll have to improvise and see what happens. Lin asks, have you eaten anything dirty lately? The pig admits, yes. About a month ago, I fed on a guy when I went out, but it went straight to my belly, so it's not like I actually ate it. Besides, I've only eaten pork and human meat. Lin reassures him, all right, let's take a look inside. You come with me. The pig follows Lin to the operating room. What's this about? The pig wonders, imagining the operating room. The pig is already stretched out on the bed, and Lin's eye lights up scared. The pig asks, are you sure you're going to perform this surgery? Wouldn't it be better to do a new diagnosis? But Lin says that hesitation would be the biggest problem. He'll check if there's a spirit in there. When he opens the abdomen, it would be easier if he could just cut out the spirit. But unfortunately, that's not possible. The pig starts screaming, I've always been the bucha, but now I'm the one being cut. What the hell is this? Lin was just sharpening the blade until now. The pig asks, how long are you going to do this? Then Lin pulls out the blade. All right, you're ready? Hesitant. The pig says, yes, but Lin remembers something. Wait a minute. Then he runs to the table, grabs a pen, and marks a cross on his belly. There, now, I'm ready again. He presses a button. Chains appear to restrain the hands and feet, and the pig starts screaming in despair. Lin reassures him, these restraints are just to prevent you from suffering too much during the surgery. The pig asks, have you performed any surgeries before? He says he's seen his professor cutting meat, so it's not much different. He can trust in his surgical skills. At this point, the pig is already bleeding. Don't do this. Let me out. Let me out. But Lin says that now is too late. No way he would leave a patient of his to suffer. He's going to do this after a lot of cuts and blade experience. Lin says, congratulations. It was a smooth birth, a bloody and mature baby. The pig looks at his belly, and Lin starts sewing. Maybe now isn't the best time to say this, but I still have to tell you the total cost of the surgery. It's 300 skeleton coins. Since it's my first time, I'll give you a 20% discount doing this. It's 200. The pig screams, saying, whatever, finish it fast. Lin responds, fine, but the cost to stitch is another 40 skeleton coins. Do you prefer stitching made with wool, cotton, steel, or perhaps hemp thread? The pig says, it doesn't matter. It can be hemmed thread. He agrees. Then just wait for me to pass this needle here, and I'll start. He passes the needle and stitches the wound. All done. He pours a potion on the wound, and the pig rise. Congratulations. Everything went smoothly with the surgery. By completing the secret quest, he gained more experience, and the pig acquired another 200 fear of him looking at the creature that came out of the belly. He says, even though she's being parasitized by evil spirits, if you take care of her, well, who knows? Maybe she'll become a very healthy child. But the pig is already running away, fleeing. Lin tries to warn him, sir, you forgot your daughter. The pig says he left her as part of the payment too. Lin rushes to get him, saying, this is a pharmacy. You can't leave a baby here alone. After all, she's been through. However, the pig just leaves. Lin wonders, what am I going to do? Well, he'll take care of her temporarily. Who knows, maybe when the professor returns, he'll have her as a little snack along with wine. The creature is already trembling. Then he throws a little healing potion in his eye to prick him up, opens the system to see what's there, and his description has changed. Blood. Saw apprentice. Many feel his malevolence, and it seems he's gradually inheriting his professor's maniacal style. Our boy is incredulous, thinking I'm malevolent. I've always been such a kind person. After that, he uses his points. I have 4 upgrade points. Let's put them into Constitution, because my priority is to stay alive. Then he feels his body getting stronger, but suddenly the monster that was born was already being eaten by another one, and Lin saves it, thinking to himself, almost forgot about this. What am I going to do with you now? He takes a look and sees in the system deformed infant spirit, female gender level 2. Then the system gives a secret mission. The evil spirit inside it is corrupting its appearance, and the longer it takes, the more terrible it will become. He has 4 options. He can turn her into lamp oil, feed her to the creatures in the garden, preserve her as a specimen, or wait for the pig to come pick her up. Our guy thinks the first 3 are too cruel. The only thing written in the reward is waiting for analysis, which is a bit confusing, but it must be a very generous reward. He sits in his chair and receives 10 points of morality for being a good person. That's when he remembers, oops, I forgot to feed the creatures in the back. He puts her in the jar and says, you stay here. I'll take care of something, and goes to the back of the store. Phew. Thank goodness the system mentioned this. Otherwise, I wouldn't have remembered. He takes off the lid, already sweating, and pours something inside and loses 10 affection for whatever is there. But at least he fed it. Our guy is wondering, what is the little creature inside there? My professor never mentioned it, and I've been here for 2 years. It's better not to ask than to ask and become food for this thing. When he returns to the shop, the creature is gigantic. His sanity is already decreasing just by looking at it, minus 30 sanity. But Lin is more worried that she became so ugly that the pig won't even recognize her as his daughter. Now what am I going to do? He's already tied her to the bed. You know what? I'll do him a big favor and give her a makeover. Otherwise, she'll scare everyone on the street. He grabs a tentacle to take a closer look, and it stops moving, putting 10 more fear in the child. Poor thing. He tells her to relax. He's just going to work on her appearance. Another 10 fear added, but he's all happy there, mistreating the creature until someone knocks on the door. When he opens it, there's a burnt mummy standing there. Ah, welcome to our store. The system shows a 99% burnt evil spirit carrying a great malice against anything that's beautiful. The creature cries out, I want to change my face. The system activates the burned ghost face change quest, rewarding 50 skeleton coins. Our guy says, all right, take a seat. Wait a little while. I have another surgery to finish. Coincidentally, it's also a plastic surgery. Do you want to sit here and watch? Let me show you my excellent medical skills. No need to be nervous. Although I have no experience with plastic surgery. When I used to sculpt clay, they turned out quite beautiful. Changing a face is quite similar. It's like working with bread dough. The important thing is the elasticity and resilience. Not too dry, not too wet. I need to apply the right amount of force to fix the faces. The mummy gains 10 fear. Lin starts. He slaps it, rolls it, tosses it up, and pulls it to the side. The mummy is shocked, losing 20 sanity points. He grabs a head, places it on the table, and stares at it. There's something wrong here. This door doesn't seem normal. The mummy asks what he's doing. Well, this child here is very ugly, and as a doctor, I just want to give her a prettier face. The mummy comments on his unique technique, thinking he won't fix it this way. Then he accidentally squeezes too hard, realizing he's crushing her head with each movement. Oops, sorry, I squeezed too hard. He sees the creepy smile of the human losing 20 sanity. The mummy thinks I knew Bloodsaw left someone to take care of his shop. I just didn't imagine it was someone crazier than him. Does this mean I'll become this horrible thing, like those creatures in the back? He hears a sound and wonders if Bloodsaw is coming, losing 40 sanity, but our guy appears, apologizing for being late and sharpening the blade. What's wrong? He asks, but scared the mummy ran the system says, the quest failed, but he gained 400 fear from the creature. Congrats for getting his first client with extreme fear, earning 100 coins for it. Our guy wonders why the creature is so afraid of him. He was polite and smiled the whole time. Strange guy, but whatever. Let's take care of this child first. After some time, he finally succeeds. Lin is happy with the results, saying he had great manual skills before traveling this world. I just didn't expect to use those skills here. But then he notices there's still a third eye in the middle of her forehead. Whoa, a third eye venom came out of it. He warns her not to show that eye in the middle of her forehead, or he'll have to use the blade again. Although the poor thing is crying, her fear has decreased, but the crisis with the creature has dropped by 321 points. He even gained a lot of experience for fixing her, and he receives some hair that seems to be good for defense. The description says it causes suffocation when close to a neck. The little girl cuddles a stuffed animal, and our guy wonders if he did something wrong. As he looks outside, he realizes it's time to close. He checks the time using the soul lamp. The weaker the light, the later it is when it goes out. It's nighttime. I go to remove the lamp. A hooded figure appears, claiming to be a demon hunter. The system warns him, "You'll die," a powerful hunter who walks alone in the world of darkness. Don't try to understand, he's very dangerous. Our guy stares, wondering if he's human. It's the first time he's seen one in 2 years. The strange thing is, judging by the lamp's reaction, the guy seems ridiculously powerful. The hooded figure says, "I need treatment, some combat and recovery potions." The system activates the mission, 500 coins, just to treat his injuries. The problem is, the mission fails if our guy gets killed by the guy. "Come in, sir." Our guy says, thinking, what bad timing. The guy sits down saying he didn't expect to find someone of his race in this dark world. Then the system activates the connection with the same race. If he loses this link, he'll be killed. "Nice to meet you. What's the problem you need to treat?" Our guy says, "At least he's a human." They're usually easier to understand. The guy stands up, showing his arm with a purple thing on it. It's not good. It's beating on its own. The hunter says the system finishes the preliminary diagnosis. His arm is being corroded by black butterfly venom. Lin tells him that, and he responds, "Oh man, so you recognized it. I underestimated you." The guy says some red dress ghost set me up and used this nasty thing on my arm. Lucky for her, I wasn't in good health. Once this is better, I look for her. I'll help you. Our guy says, thinking, wait, please wait. Hear me out. If you enjoy this video, how about you subscribe, like, and hit that notification button so that you will be able to be notified when I upload another video.